On your left.
Gosh, I am hungry.
So regardless, I think he's a great fighter.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. In every classic Hollywood movie, there's always this moment where the squad rolls up, where the heroes unite and take on their common enemy. It's always a very powerful scene, oftentimes very iconic. The Avengers comes to mind, right? The Outsiders, Reservoir Dogs, famous scenes, walking in slow motion, the X-Men. It just happens. It's badass. Goodfellas, mafia movies. The whole squad rolls up, rolls deep, and takes on the enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what's happening inside of the courthouse in very mafia style in downtown New York, or Avengers style, whatever you want to say. This is what happens every single day with Donald Trump. Donald Trump rolls up with a massive squad behind him of supporters, congressmen, senators, party officials, legendary lawyers, DOJ prosecutors, Kash Patel right there. Somebody who's been behind him every single step of the way has been Eric Trump. Eric Trump's always back there with these like really badass images. You've seen Vivek Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance, some of the big time contenders for the vice presidency. They're always behind Donald Trump in these images. Now Eric Trump's back there because he's in charge of the Trump organization, right? And so Eric Trump has a deep and vested interest in this trial. But there's somebody that we haven't seen, and that's Don Jr. Don Jr. is obviously a favorite of our show. Love the guy. But today, Don Jr. was standing in the gangster phalanx behind Donald Trump, along with Pam Bondi, Matt Whitaker. Really great group of attorney generals, former attorney general of Missouri right here, now Senator, Troy Nehls Gorka. And it's a really strong showing, honestly. This was a very, very legal front that they put forward today. And then typically after these, sort of shows of force, there's a show of force outside at the press conference in front of the court. Now, according to everybody who's been on our program, this sort of press conference in front of the court, very, very routinized. They force you to stand at like a specific location. And Don Jr. walked up to the mic today and, dude, brought the flamethrower, okay? Don Jr. absolutely on fire today, looking sharp, sounding sharp, and was ready to brawl. Check this out.
Well, guys, I had to come down and witness the Bolshevik show trials for myself. What's going on here is an absolute farce, and anyone in America should be embarrassed at the absolute miscarriage of justice that we're seeing here. There's no crime. The only problem is the witnesses who are experts in these things aren't allowed to actually testify to that because you have a rigged system. You have a judge whose daughter is making millions off of this very case. But you know what? That's not a problem in New York City. We're just going to allow it. To Donald Trump. And if they will try to do this to someone like Donald Trump with a platform, hundreds of millions of followers, the ability to fight, they will do it to anyone. They have weaponized this system against their political enemies, and they've started to go down a very dangerous and a very slippery slope. This insanity cannot stand. This kind of bias cannot be allowed to happen in the United States of America or anywhere else. If this was going on right now in a third world banana republic, there would be people screaming about it. You people, the media, would be outraged. Instead, because I presume you're fine with whatever the results are as long as it's against Donald Trump, your silence is deafening and it's disgusting. This cannot stand and it cannot allow to continue.
Don, why'd you feel the need to come down here?
Because you have no choice. Again, I wasn't a political guy my whole life. I may have been a conservative. We used to change the skyline of this city. We built buildings. But once you get involved and you see the disasters created, especially by this current administration, you understand that you have to fight. You have to leave our country to our children in a way that they can recognize it. You have to fight for the freedoms that we have enjoyed our entire lives. They are all at risk right now. They are all on the table, and that's unacceptable.
I gotta tell you, many people say that Eric and Don's style is very, very different, that Don has far more of like his father's style, cadence, and yeah, they're right. It's like, it's a mini Trump. It's mini Trump is what it is. Don Jr., the firstborn, obviously named after his father, Donald, goes by Don Jr., but full name is Donald, and Don Jr. doing a very, very good Trump impression. You can't even say impression because he is Donald Trump, right? That's like, it's like just spectacular. Just laying the groundwork, forceful, all eyes on him. And it was strong. Is it as strong as Troy Nels' tie? I don't know. Check out this tie. That is amazing. This tie of Donald Trump hugging the flag. Pretty basic. This is Troy Nels. He's a member of Congress from Texas and a friend of the show. Look at that thing. It's great. So there were like some pretty unbelievable scenes outside of the courthouse. Don Jr. obviously going off, talking about the disaster that this is for America and how embarrassing it is for the city of New York. But the true embarrassment was leveled towards the press. Pretty amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Some moments where the speakers and the press kind of got into it. First off was Sebastian Gorka, is saying Sebastian Gorka worked briefly in the Trump White House and now has his own radio show. Sebastian Gorka saying, "You were pathetic. You're not a journalist," to the journalists there at the gaggle.
His whole life on the line for the American people. When he came down that escalator, he probably had no idea that he was going to be called to be the man in the gap to stand up for Americans. And he's standing up for you, even if you don't know it. I don't know who's next.
Would a member of the ruling class be facing 730 years in prison? What a pathetic question. 730 years in prison, and he's a member of the elite? That's pathetic. You're not a journalist.
But then the sort of show stealer was Maria Salazar. She's a member of Congress from Florida, who got up and excoriated the press because she herself was a journalist of many decades and said that you're not doing your job. You're not telling the truth here. Check this out.
Meantime, I belong to you for 35 years.
Come on.
You should be ashamed of how passively you're sitting passively by while the credibility of one of the most revered American institutions, the judicial system, is crumbling in front of your eyes. Where is your profession? Where is your impartiality? Your biased coverage will cost us for many generations. Unfortunately, my constituents know this movie does not end well. But the problem is that millions and millions of my fellow Americans have never watched it, so they do not know the dangers we're facing. America and its political genius of the American exceptionality, if we lose faith in it, we are marching towards a very dark place. America is the only hope, ask my parents and my constituents, for humanity, and if we want to continue pursuing the happiness of all of us. May the Lord Almighty, the Lord of Abraham, the Lord of Jesus, protect us, because we are in a very dark place. Thank you. And
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, you just haven't seen this before. You haven't seen it before. We published Vivek's commentary in front of the court. It was really strong. But you haven't seen people go on the offense, right? It's been a lot of defense. It's been a lot of, wow, I can't believe this is happening. And that's good. It's important to set the groundwork of the case. But now it's going on offense, saying, how could you? How dare you? How did you people do this kind of stuff? I mean, what kind of country we want to live in? Do you think you'll be in power forever? Like, this is going to turn out horrible for you. And it's a really, really powerful and effective moment. And now you're starting to see the offense. You thought it was bad before. Wait till we get rolling, baby. Exciting moments out front of the court. It's great to see the Trump family standing strong. Show you sort of the differences between Don and Eric. Here's a clip of Eric from last night. Again, different styles, same effect, right? Eric's a spectacular communicator. Trump's got to be really, really proud of his sons. Imagine being Joe Biden. Would you be proud of your son? Which sons would you choose, Hunter or Don or Eric? It's the measure of a man. Judge a man by his children. You really can. Check it out.
Because today it was proven their star witness, Michael Cohen, has lied over and over and over again. He lied to Congress. He lied to Senate. He lied to the Attorney General of New York. He lied in the DA trial in New York. He lied in the Southern District of New York. He lied to his wife. He lied to Judge Palsy, which is the judge that sentenced him. He paid vendors in bags of cash. He stole from our organization. Right? So then we asked the judge for a motion to dismiss after all these lies, after Michael agrees that he lied to all of these people. Right? He's a serial perjurer. He's a serial liar. He can't be trusted. And he is their star witness. We asked for a motion to dismiss, and it just goes nowhere because somebody is holding this judge back. And then when I look at what he did to Bob Costello, he wanted to tell his story. He knows the details of this better than anybody. He met with Cohen. He said over and over and over again that Cohen kept on saying that Donald Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. He has no information on Donald Trump. He did nothing illegal. And at every single chance that he could stop him, he could sustain, he would block him from any of that testimony.